Meet Lee Hoyoung, a 29-year-old whose life has been nothing short of a disaster. Orphaned at a young age and a bully since childhood, he struggled through life without much hope. Just when things couldn't seem worse, monsters start invading his world. One fateful day, Hoyoung encounters a trapped goblin on his way home. When he helps the creature, it rewards him with a mysterious pill. As if things weren't chaotic enough, towering structures begin to appear all over the world. Realizing the apocalypse is imminent, Hoyoung takes the pill and gains an extraordinary ability, the Sage's status window. With the end of days just 15 days away, Hoyoung quits his job and dedicates himself to intense training. Will he survive the looming catastrophe? Join us to find out. At 7 a.m., we see a foot sprinting forward in the rain. The person, breathless but determined, exclaims, 10 kilometers run. The scene shifts to 12 p.m. Two people are fighting with wooden swords. The person in the red uniform lands a blow on his opponent's face and exclaims, head strikes 500 times. The scene shifts to 5 p.m. Someone is lifting weights in the gym, sweat pouring from his body. His gym trainer motivates him. Do it. The man exclaims, big 3 exercises, 10 reps per set, 10 sets, and for the sake of repeating the routine for 14 days, I decided to resign. The scene shifts back to the gym. The boy thinks, someone asked me this. Did I suddenly go crazy? Maybe it would have been better for me to have been crazy, but the door to the end of days is opening soon. A system window appears. The door to the end of days is opening soon. Time left until the end of days. 0 days, 0 hours, 0 minutes, 5 seconds. Please prepare for the end. Recommended quests: strength exercises, cardio exercises, learning kendo. The man continues, the world is ending soon after all. Another system pop-up counts down. Time left until the end of days. 2 seconds, 1 second, 0 seconds. The scene shifts to 15 days ago. Everyone's phone suddenly glows with a red notification. It's a critical disaster alert. Yongyogu today at 6:32 p.m., monsters appeared near Inwang Mountain. Citizens around the area are to evacuate immediately. If you see monsters, everyone is shocked, thinking, what monsters? One kid in a classroom exclaims, who's playing pranks? The notification pops up everywhere, causing disbelief and panic. Suddenly, a live video starts. A boy, live streaming on his phone, says, gee guys, it has appeared! There's really a monster! He's terrified, but his audience doesn't believe him, leaving negative comments, thinking it's a fake video. The streamer nervously asks, since I came all the way here, should I go a little closer? His audience starts giving him challenges, but suddenly the monster notices the streamer. One comment warns, behind you! Everyone starts spamming, behind you! Behind! The streamer says, don't mess with me, guys. It wasn't moving. The monster appears behind him, angry. The streamer is terrified, thinking he's going to die. Suddenly, the scene shifts, and someone removes his headphones. He thinks, damn, that surprised me. Why does that video look so realistic? We also kept receiving this alert. What's going on? We are introduced to our main character, Lee Hoyoung, 29 years old. He says, it's all nonsense. Who's gonna believe this? There have been way too many fake videos recently. Suddenly, he is shocked, thinking, there's one here! Wait, why is there a monster? The monster, trapped and growling in fear, stares at him. The MC thinks, this is kinda scary, let's run for now. He says, oh, right. This is the day the math teacher will be here. He starts to leave, but notices the monster making an innocent face. The MC thinks, is it asking me to help it? Even though it is trying to act cute and ask for help, it's still too scary. I am a human. That's a monster. I'm not someone nice enough to be able to show compassion to a monster. I can't help a monster even if it looks at me with those eyes. But the monster shows a family photo and starts crying. Suddenly, something starts glowing brightly, startling the MC. It is a pill. The system pops up saying, Silver Goblin's pill. Once consumed, you will obtain unknown. The MC thinks, I ended up helping a monster. I even got a gift from it. I can't believe it's a monster. But what's this silver goblin's pill? And what is this? Is this something like a hologram? Consume it, huh? Who would eat something so suspicious? Suddenly, urgent news comes on TV. The anchor says, "Right now, unknown large buildings have appeared all over the world. These buildings look like towers, and we have lost contact with the US Army that went into the tower. The appearance of monsters and unknown towers. Has the apocalypse really started?" The MC goes to the balcony for some fresh air, but suddenly a blast occurs. He thinks, "What the hell?" Everyone is running for their lives. A person points towards an area filled with smoke. Suddenly, from nowhere, a tower appears, huge and foreboding. The TV anchor says, "More urgent news. Currently in Korea. A huge tower has also appeared in Korea." The MC witnesses it from his balcony, clenching his fist. The pill pop-up window appears. We hear the MC's voiceover. "I don't know if this is the correct decision, but this is the only time I will be able to do something as crazy as this." His body glows with a blue aura, his eyes also glowing. He feels a surge of power in his body. Suddenly, a pop-up window shows up. "You have obtained Sage's status window." Another window pops up saying, "Sage's status window will provide the guide with the highest rate of survival in your current situation." We see some kind of thing forging with puzzle pieces in the sky. It is a book. The MC thinks, "A book?" He tries to open it, but suddenly a bright light comes from the book and it goes inside the system. A pop-up window says, "The door to the end of days is opening soon. Time left until the end of days, 15 days, 4 hours, 12 minutes, 52 seconds. Please prepare for the end. Recommended quests, strength exercises, cardio exercises, learning kendo." The MC says, "So I followed the recommendation of the guide. I gave up on everything else for 15 days to focus on just exercising. But this is the end? It's kinda different from what I imagined." Suddenly, a pop-up shows blunt sword. The MC thinks, "A sword?" Suddenly, pop-up windows start appearing. "The game starts now, starting the tutorial. The aptitude test has been completed. Based on the analysis of the data, you will be given the most suitable class. Your class is Combat Swordsman." The MC thinks, "This is? There are too many things to read." One pop-up window says, "Lee Hoyoung HP, 100% MP10, Class Combat Swordsman 1, Skill Level 1. Basic Swordsmanship, Sage's Status Window, Stamina 14, Strength 11, Agility 7, Sensitivity 8, remaining points, blank." The MC starts holding the sword and thinks, "A combat swordsman. Does this mean things are really starting from now on?" The window pops up. Please complete one of the two objectives. 1. Survive in this forest for 60 minutes. 2. Find the exit and escape. The MC is thinking about this tutorial when suddenly another window pops up. Sage's status window will provide the guide with the highest rate of survival in your current situation. Use all 60 minutes of the tutorial and kill as many monsters as possible. The second objective will hinder your growth and is not recommended. The MC is thinking about the guide when suddenly something stirs in the bushes. The window pops up. The tutorial started now. Suddenly, he starts to get scared, but it is a cute raccoon monster. The MC thinks, "Huh?" Suddenly, the monster starts showing its true colors and attacks the MC, but the MC kills it with one blow. The system pops up. "You killed one raccoon monster. You have obtained EXP." The MC thinks, "That raccoon was killed with one blow, maybe because it is a tutorial monster." Suddenly, he notices his 2 mana points used for basic swordsmanship. He has 10 MP, so he can use that move only 5 times. He starts hunting more and more raccoon monsters. The system pops up. You are now level 2, HP and MP recovered. You will obtain points every time you level up. You can use them to increase your stats. Remaining points 2. He is very happy, but suddenly a red pop-up comes and says, "Adjust the player's level. You are now level 1. The weight of knowledge. As you have the Sage's status window, you will level up slower compared to other players. The MC is shocked, thinking, there's a penalty for this Sage's window? If I level up, I get downgraded? So when can I level up then? He is pissed off, but he is shocked because, although his level is decreasing, his stats are increasing. He thinks, why do I have remaining points? If what I am thinking is correct, this isn't a penalty. It could be an overpowered bug-like ability. The MC starts slaying the raccoon monsters again, and he levels up to 2. But again, his level is downgraded. He smiles, thinking, I fell back to level 1 as I expected, but the remaining points are still going up though. The more I level up, the more XP I need for the next one. It'd be easier to raise my stats like this than to level up the normal way. Now then, let's try raising my stats. He falls into deep thought, considering his options. I guess I have 4 choices. Strength and agility would be the best choices for a combat swordsman, right? Strength would allow for stronger attacks, and agility would increase my speed and reflexes. But the stat I need the most right now is a window pops up. Sensitivity has gone up 4. Suddenly, he defeats another raccoon monster. He thinks, one-horned raccoons aren't as strong as you'd expect from a tutorial monster. I was able to defeat them easily, even with the default stats. He recalls the guide's instructions. The problem is how many one-horned raccoons I can find within the given time. It's gotten much easier to find the raccoons now that I have a higher sensitivity stat. I feel like I can sense a kind of kui with sensitivity 22. But suddenly he feels something. A red pop-up appears. You have defeated all monsters. Hidden quest is being activated. He feels a tremendous murderous aura. Behind him, a giant raccoon monster stands, staring at him with killing intent. A window pops up. Defeat level 2 one-horned raccoon alpha. The MC thinks, what's this monster? The monster jumps at him, barely escaping the attack. He thinks, oh, it's fast. Is that rhino-like monster the boss? Phew. Let's calm down. It's different from the other one-horned raccoons. The raccoon launches another attack, but after focusing, the MC lands a blow on the raccoon. A pop-up says, you defeated the boss. You have cleared the hidden quest. Reward, gold. The MC, panting, says, I am actually level 7 after all. I didn't expect the hour to feel so long. Anyways, it's over, right? But suddenly, he gets teleported. He thinks, I'm in a different location? An announcement starts, welcome everyone. You have successfully completed the tutorial. Everyone is shocked. The announcement continues, this is the lobby of the tower. You're currently in the C2567 region. The MC thinks, the lobby? What's that? There are 14 men and 11 women. Did they also finish the tutorial and get sent here? Everyone around him starts panicking. The MC remains calm, thinking, it makes sense. The entire world changed in just a day after all. Had I not known that the world was going to end beforehand, I would probably be panicking like them. Let's calm down. I will make it out of here alive. A girl asks, where is this place? Is this the Tower of the End? Suddenly everyone is shocked to see a bunny in an announcer outfit. The bunny says, Hi everyone. I'm the cutie of the tower floor manager, Kum Kum. Everyone is stunned. One person exclaims, what? It just appeared out of nowhere. Another person asks, is it a kid in a rabbit suit? Was it you that brought us here? The rabbit replies, well, I guess this is the normal response. The MC asks, I want to ask you something. If this really is the end of the world, then what are we supposed to do now? The bunny thinks, oh, a great question. All of you 22 players here will be participating in a game with your lives at stake. The bunny says this with a sinister look on its face. Everyone starts panicking again. The MC begins to sweat as well. The bunny continues, all humans of the earth are currently in this tower right now. You will work together for each mission on each floor to climb the tower. The MC asks, then? Can we go back to our normal lives once we make it to the top of the tower? The bunny says, that I also don't know. The MC asks, then what's the point of climbing the tower? The bunny replies, "Is there a need to search for meaning in things? Only death awaits those who do not climb the tower." The MC is stunned. The bunny continues, "Quite a lot of people already died in the tutorial." The MC is shocked, thinking, "Why didn't I consider that? I know it's just the tutorial, but I'm sure there are a lot of people who couldn't even manage that. Wait, no, there's no way." The bunny says, "Now then, is anyone willing to try and kill me? I need to die in order to get home. There's a special reward for the one who helps me." The MC thinks, "What? Is this a trap?" He doesn't look strong on the outside, but there's no way I can win against a level 55. I should just stand back and watch for now. But suddenly, a window pops up. "Help the lower floor manager Kum Kum get home." The MC thinks, "Help Kum Kum get home? Does that mean it's okay to attack that rabbit? It never hurt until now to listen to what the guide told me, but is it worth doing something so conspicuous? Damn it. What should I do?" Suddenly, a man says, "I will do it. If you want to die so bad, then I should kill you, don't you think?" The MC thinks, "Ugh, I was too late." The bunny says, "Oh ho, I will be able to get home." The man says, "Kum Kum, don't regret it. I will kill you as painfully as I can." The man goes to finish it with one blow, but suddenly the bunny's expression changes, and it launches a devastating punch at the man's face. The punch is so strong that in a moment there is nothing left. Everyone is terrified. The bunny says, "Oops, I accidentally counterattacked." Everyone is shocked and terrified. In an instant, the man is dead. A girl is terrified. The MC thinks, "He died? What if it had been me who volunteered?" The bunny laughs and says, "It's just a mistake. Any other volunteers?" The MC thinks, "Did the guide lie to me?" The bunny repeats, "Who wants to help Kum Kum get an early mark?" Everyone is terrified, and the MC thinks, "The guide lied? Why?" Suddenly, a window pops up, and Sage's status window is triggered. Another ability is unlocked, Sage's Eye. The system shows Sage's status window has been triggered, and you may look at the status window of other people. The MC thinks, "Sage's Eye? There was another ability besides Sage's status window? But why is this appearing all of a sudden? Huh? So that's what it was." The bunny repeats, Kum Kum wants to go home. The MC says, "I will do it." He thinks the guide wasn't lying. Kum Kum says, Mr. Lee Hoyoung's level 1. The MC says, "Is my level important when I am doing a good deed?" With a sinister smile, Kum Kum says, "Yes, I suppose not. All right then, please send me home quickly." The blonde girl says, "Whoa, wait, this is too dangerous. You just saw someone die." The MC says, "Yeah." The blonde girl says, "Don't do anything reckless." The MC replies, "It's okay, I have a plan." The girl is confused. The MC says, "You will see something exciting." Kum Kum says, and suddenly charges a devastating punch at full speed. The MC is stunned. Scene shifts to a flashback. The MC says, "There was something strange about what Kum Kum said. I am certain that there are 25 people in this space." We see the time when Kum Kum first announced, "From now on, the 24 players will play a game with their lives on the line." "Oh, our lives on the line?" The MC continues, "But Kum Kum said 24. Was that just a simple mistake?" "No." The horror of facing a level 55 monster and the fear that it could kill us all of that was intentional. The reason Kum Kum said the wrong number. We see everyone terrified. The MC says, "The reason is..." Kum Kum is shocked. The MC delivers a devastating slash and we see his Sage's Eye. The MC says, "Because there are only 24 people in here to begin with." We see the man's body start vanishing. The system says it was a hologram made by Kum Kum. Kum Kum is very surprised. He says, "Wow, you're pretty good, Mr. Lee Hoyoung." We see that Kum Kum was also a hologram, and after being hit by the MC, it starts disappearing. He says, "For those who have courage, may the odds be ever in your favor." After that, He disappears, and the MC is relieved. We see him drop one stat point ball. One person says, "What? A hologram? Then it was a fake. Lee, how did you know?" The MC starts to explain. "Coincidentally, I saw the blood pass through Che Yiseol. Her hair and clothes should be covered in blood because of the proximity." Che says, "Huh? Come to think of it." The MC continues, "That's why I thought this was all a show." The MC thinks, "It would be better for me to make up an excuse instead." One person says, "Hey, I think it is a huge waste for you to have that. Anyways, you just got lucky." His name is Kim Se-young. He continues, "If I noticed, I would have stepped up." The MC gets angry and says, "What do you mean it will be a waste?" Kim says, "The fact that you are still level 1 when we already completed the tutorial means you are either weak as hell or you couldn't kill anything, so you just ran away. You are just going to die quickly, so for the sake of mankind, I'm giving you the chance to yield that to me." Lee thinks, "What's with his arrogance? Is he being serious?" With that, Lee uses the stat ball. The system notifies, "You have obtained 1 stat point." Kim is shocked. Lee says, "Yielding isn't a hobby of mine." Kim is very pissed. He starts threatening and says, "Wow, for a bottom feeder, you are quite greedy. Are you trying to save face because of your level, huh?" The MC thinks, "Speaking from experience, the wisest thing to do is to avoid people like him. But for how long would I be able to keep this up?" Suddenly, an announcement starts. "From now on, your starting gold will be given out. You can use the gold in the shop, and additional gold will be given in accordance with the number of monsters you have hunted in the tutorial." Kim exclaims, "Gold? Tisk, count yourself lucky." The announcement says, "In this area, the highest amount of starting gold a player has is 7,400 G." Everyone is amazed. 7,400? One of us is getting that much? Kim Se-young says, "Oh, Geff, if I knew this was going to happen, I would have done better." Jun Se-young says, "I don't know who came in first, but they sure are amazing." Lee thinks, "The player who came first is me. Of course, I don't plan to reveal it. Since one guy was already jealous of a mere stat point, there are 3 big things that you can do with gold: buy items, level up your skills, or increase your stats." He allocates 900 G to strength, 600 G to stamina, and 1,300 G to agility. Now his stamina is 20, strength 20, agility 20, and sensitivity 20. He still has 4,600 G left. On the other side, Kim starts shouting, "Why is leveling up my skills so expensive?" Lee thinks, "I should level up basic swordsmanship too." He spends 1,500 G on it, then he buys clothes with 100 G. Suddenly, Che says, "Excuse me, Mr. Lee." Lee replies, "What's up?" She says, "I need some advice." Lee says, "Why are you asking for advice from a level 1? She says, "Your level aside, I was very impressed by your bravery." Lee is surprised. He checks Che Yiseol's window and sees she has 800 gold and is a healer. Lee asks, "How much gold do you currently have?" She replies, 800. Lee thinks, she is honest. Lee suggests increasing stamina. She says, "I will follow your advice, thank you." The announcement starts. "The first floor mission will commence soon. Please create your own 3-man party. Players with no party will be put into a random party. You will be given 30 minutes. Lee thinks, "A party? Huh? I did think that there would be group missions, but they gave us one sooner than I thought." Jun Se-young says, "Since we can see each other's levels, how about we tell each other our classes?" We hear Lee's voice saying, as Kim Jun-seong suggested, they started to reveal their classes and people started to create teams with the players they want. Che says, "If you would like to, would you please team up with me?" Lee thinks, "My first party member is Che Yiseol. I have no reason to refuse when a healer is asking to team up with me, but everyone else's replies were the same. Sorry, Lee Hoyoung. I need to think about it before joining your party. Even though I had a healer, maybe they were bothered by me. Well, it's true that a level 1 combat swordsman isn't very enticing. Che says, "What should we do, Hoyoung?" MC says, "Since players who are level 4 are very relaxed. Everyone has already made their parties. The people remaining are..." The announcement starts. 30 minutes is up. Incomplete parties will now be filled randomly. The first floor mission will commence. The scene shifts, and we see someone yelling, "I am so unlucky!" It is Kim. He continues, "To think I am in a party with this bottom feeder, so it really came to this." Lee thinks, "To think he was less popular than me when he is a level 4? Would it even be possible to cooperate with him?" Kim notices Lee and asks, "What are you looking at?" "F off." Lee thinks, "No, since it comes to this, the problem isn't if it's possible or not. I need to make it possible, in order to survive here." A pop-up window appeared on their screens. Mission, annihilate the kobold tribe. Time limit, 12 hours. They watched the village from the top of the hill. Kim declared, "I'll wipe out that kobold tribe or whatever, so don't get in my way." Lee reminded him, "Please remember that this is a team mission." Kim glared at him angrily. "Oi, loser. I'm letting you ride on my coattails, so why the hell do you have so much to say?" Lee sighed. "Okay, then I will try to ride on your coattails and see how good it is." He thought, "For now, I should listen to him." Kim sneered. You were only going to ride my coattails anyway, so why would you uselessly rebel? You only get your act together when someone's about to kill you." Lee replied, "Thank you for your concern." Che thought, "Will this party be okay?" Kim shouted angrily, "Why the hell are there so many bugs here?" Lee observed the insects on the tree and thought, "There are indeed a lot of bugs since we're in the mountains." Suddenly, Che called out to Lee, "The kobold monster must be strong, right?" Lee responded, "There's a chance that it is stronger than a one-horned raccoon, but since we are still on level 1, it should be manageable. We should still be on our guard. After all, this is the Tower of the End." Che nodded. "Okay." The scene shifted, revealing a formidable monster. Lee started sweating. It was a level 5 wolf humanoid monster. Panic set in. "That one's way too different," Lee thought. Che asked, "That monster's obviously way stronger. What should we do?" "I know, let's check the surroundings first. There could be more kobolds around," Lee suggested. Suddenly they were shown someone's leg. Lee and Che were shocked. Kim shouted, "Because you keep hiding like a damn coward." He took a high jump from the bush towards the monster, confusing it. Kim landed a powerful punch on the monster's face. Lee and Che were stunned. Kim smiled. The monster was unharmed. Kim continued to punch with anger. Lee thought, "I can't believe he'd just go in there alone so brazenly. I didn't expect him to be that stubborn." Che said, "I will help you too." Lee thought, "Thankfully, I don't sense any other kobolds around yet." Kim fought the monster while Che healed him. Lee thought, "He definitely brings his level's worth, though with Che's help, he might even be able to take him down all alone. But why is the damage dealt so low compared to his strength? Does he have some other weakness?" Suddenly, a system window popped up. Relaying the guide. As kobolds are passive monsters, they will not attack unless provoked. Lee thought, That means Kim Seong stirred the hornet's nest for no reason. No, let's be positive about this. We need to catch a few for research purposes anyway, so..." Suddenly, Lee was surprised. "This is..." Kim's punch missed and hit a tree, blowing it away. Unfortunately, the tree hit another monster, enraging it. Kim was scared. The monster threw the tree and charged at Kim. "Damn it, this feels like I'm in big trouble. What is Lee Hoyoung doing? Not even helping me." Kim looked where Lee was hiding. "What the? That loser? Did he run?" The monster was about to hit Kim with a wooden club, but Che slashed the monster with her sword. She stumbled on a stone and fell, terrified. Her vision blurred as the monster approached. Suddenly, a fruit was cut down by a sword. The system popped up. Level 1 basic swordsmanship has been triggered. Lee slashed at the monster, causing it to explode. The system popped up. You eliminated the level 6 kobold. Che and Kim were shocked. A loser? Kim exclaimed. Lee! Che shouted. Lee thought, while the bugs ate all the fruit, they didn't touch any of these, so I thought something was off. The system popped up. Summoning poison apple from the inventory. So this is what it was. The guide popped up. Kobolds are vulnerable to poison. Gather poison from the mountains and use it. Lee thought, the key to the level 1 mission. Kim was furious. Oi, loser, what a damn free rider. You were hidden somewhere in a corner when it was actually dangerous. And after I land a few hits to him, you just swoop in and steal the final hit? Screw this! Unethical bastard! I knew it when I saw him gulping down the stat points. Lee thought. What the hell is he yapping about? Is he a lunatic? Seeing how he's unable to read the room, he's gonna have an even harder time. The scene shifted to the kobold village. Kim was shouting, I am Kim Se-young, a national name in the punching scene. These lowly monsters can never stop me! Lee and Che casually defeated the monsters, while Kim was struggling. Damn it! How are they doing it so easily? Kim was beaten badly. It hurts! It hurts too much! Please, someone, please! Hook! He saw monsters being destroyed instantly. He was confused. He saw Lee standing in front of him. Lee said, I took over the coattail ride in your place for a bit. How was the ride? Kim was speechless. Suddenly he started crying. Lee Hoyoung, my big bro! Both Lee and Che were shocked. The system popped up. You've cleared the mission. A pop-up window appeared. Returning to the lobby. They were back. Kim was pissed, thinking, what have I done? A flashback showed Kim kneeling before Lee, saying, I will serve you, sir. Kim was angry. Calling some level 2 newbie, sir. Che congratulated Lee. Thanks, Lee replied. Kim thought, it's over for me if this gets out, but I, Kim Se-young, am a man. I cannot go back on my word. He was furious. Lee thought, huh? Does he need a shit or something? Che said, I guess nobody's here yet. Are we the first ones? Kim was shocked. Lee replied, looks like we cleared faster than others because we luckily managed to find the kobold's weakness. Che shouted, luck! It's all thanks to your observational skills. I never could have thought of using poison. Lee smiled. If it weren't for your support, it would have been much harder. He thought, I feel like a fraud. Suddenly, Lee noticed other groups coming back. Looks like the other parties are coming back too, he said. Is it Kim Jun-seong and Seo Jun-ho's party? They must have found the poisonous apples too. I wonder if the other parties will make it back fine. Someone shouted, oh, another party's come back! But only 2 of them emerged. Che panicked and asked, what about the third person? One of them started crying. It's just the 2 of us. Suddenly, an announcement began. The first level mission has been completed by all parties. The first level mission has been completed by all parties. The first level mission has been completed by all parties. Che shouted, whoa, wait! There's someone who hasn't come back yet! The announcement continued. A total of 6 parties have returned alive, and 8 players have failed to return. Lee got nervous. I expected that it'd be hard for everyone to make it back alive, but 8 dead already? I wonder how many more will die before we make it up to the top, he thought. The announcement continued. Beginning calculations for level 1 mission. The parties who made it alive whole, and the party that cleared the first level first will receive 1,000 gold each. Lee thought, I got 2,000 gold for both bonuses. It's a bit lacking compared to the tutorial, but gold is a kind of insurance for my future survival. I need to save as much as I can. Someone asked, but which party got first? Lee was nervous. I guess I'll have to reveal it this time. The party that returned second knows already, so he thought. He started to say, "It was," but suddenly Kim shouted,
"It was us! It was an obvious result, so don't be too sad."
One of them exclaimed, "Your party was first?" Kim, with a weird face, said,
"Oi! What's with that reaction? Are you mad that I got first? Eh?"
The person said in fear, "No, that's not what I meant." Lee thought, I guess he forgot about the fact that he was beat up by those kobolds. Well, I guess that lessens the attention on him. Then everyone started talking with envy. Look at him. He got first place, but he's only level 2. Wow. Then he got 2,000 gold from doing nothing? He really got carried. Does he not feel bad at all? Everyone started condemning Lee. Lee thought, I guess not. Che shouted, No, Lee, actually. Lee said, It's okay. They're not gonna listen anyway. But, Che protested. I'll have to show them, Lee said, but suddenly someone caught everyone's attention. Let's calm down. We need to focus on our survival. It was Kim Jun-seong, level 8 class archer. Another person said, He's right. We should cheer up. We must keep pushing on for the sake of the people who passed away. It was Seo Junho, level 8 combat swordsman. Everyone started shouting, Right, we shouldn't be wallowing. Let's get it together. We can do this. Yeah, let's do this. Suddenly the blue fire was extinguished, and then the red fire was lit. The red fire started to light up all around. Warnings popped up everywhere. Lee was shocked. What's happening? The torch flame's color changed? He thought. The system popped up. The survival rate of the first level of Region C2567 is below average. The penalty mission was put into place, and alerts started popping up everywhere. Everyone panicked, shouting, What? Penalty mission? Another window popped up. Death mission will begin soon. Death mission? Lee thought. The system popped up. Choose one candidate in your mind. The player with the most votes will carry out the death mission. Another system window showed a 5-minute timer. Everyone was confused and terrified. Another window popped up. If you do not choose anyone, you will automatically vote for yourself. Lee continued thinking. To be voted here means... Everyone was terrified, imagining their own deaths. They were too scared to decide who to vote for. Suddenly, Chase shouted, Wait! If we all vote for ourselves, then no one will have to do the death mission. Another person shouted, What if we all end up having to do it then? This isn't the time to be arguing. Another girl shouted, The time's still ticking. A girl exclaimed, Huh? Over there! She pointed at Lee. Che thought, What? Lee? Seo Junho said, Isn't this too cruel? No one said that it's not anonymous. I'm sorry. We do need to choose. Lee remained silent, thinking, I did expect it given the atmosphere, but I am a bit taken aback. I don't want to die after all. Che shouted, It's not too late. If we all vote for ourselves and Lee votes for Seo Junho. Lee said, That won't work. The person said, Lee had a point. We don't know if that'll work. Lee thought, and trust was already broken. As time ticked away, the votes above his head increased one by one. I'm sure there was more than one reason, but the biggest reason was that I'm low level. They have lost the notion of society that the strong should protect the weak. Che shouted, You're all too cruel. How can you do this to someone? People started saying, Then what are we supposed to do? I'm gonna die if I don't vote. I haven't done anything wrong. One girl said, I'm sure he would have died anyway given his level. MC continued thinking, and people revealed their true selves. There was 1 second left. Suddenly Kim, with a sinister smile, thought, Sorry, sir. And he also voted for Lee. Lee continued thinking, It was a cruel reminder that the word of the end really is here. Suddenly, a window popped up. All votes have been cast. Portal to the death mission is opening. Lee looked at the portal. People were talking, Is this real? Shit! Che was crying. Lee! Kim was laughing and thought, Kwahaha! Now that I think about it, my problem's solved if he's gone. I'm a genius. Lee had no expression on his face. He thought, the sacrificial lamb was chosen and the altar set up. With faces of guilt and relief behind me, I have no choice but to climb the Calvary, except at the top of Calvary isn't death. Suddenly, Lee's guide window appeared. Participating in the death mission is recommended. You have a high chance of clearing the mission and a satisfactory reward awaits you. Lee thought, not death, but a delightful treat. The atmosphere was tense, emotions swirling amongst the group, when suddenly Kim Junseong approached. He asked Che, "Are you feeling all right?" He continued, "While it was short, we're still companions who have watched each other's backs. It feels regretful separating like this." Kim Seong with arrogance scoffed, regretful. You get what you deserve." Che was shocked. Jun Seong asked, "What's that supposed to mean?" Kim exclaimed, "Can't you tell just by looking at that person's level? All he did was try to benefit from me while I carried the group." Che shouted in sadness, "What are you trying to say? Wasn't it Lee's abilities that got us through the mission?" Kim shouted back, "What abilities? He just got lucky with his scheming. He just took the final blow when I had it down low." Che was stunned. "Are you sure that he didn't save you from almost dying?" Kim started sweating. "Che, that's..." he stammered. He thought, "Now that I think about it, what did he do? Does he have a skill that allows him to change the level he shows? He wouldn't make it back here alive, right?" Jun Seong said, "Personally, I hope that Lee Hoyoung is as good as Chai Yi-seol makes him out to be. That way, he'll have at least a slight chance of making it back." Che, wiping her tears, said, "Yes, I believe in him. Lee will return safely, I'm sure of it." Jun Seong replied, "Yes, I'm sure he will." The scene shifted too inside the portal. Lee thought, "Aren't these the kobolds from before? This feels creepy. Well, anyway." Suddenly, a guide window popped up saying, "The chance of you clearing the mission is very high and a good reward is waiting for you." Lee thought, "I was thinking about voting for myself if things didn't work out. It's a good thing that everything seems to be going my way." He was getting angry, thinking about Kim's reaction. Suddenly, the system popped up. "Kobold Tribe's hunting group has returned." The monsters were showing their bloodlust. "They're here," Lee thought. The boss monster, showing its red aura with killing intent, roared. A red window popped up. "Death mission will start. Kill the chieftain and the hunting group that are enraged by the death of their tribesmen." The three monsters charged towards Lee at high speed. The system guide popped up. The kobold chieftain is the boss monster of this dungeon and is a level 12 monster. Kobold chieftains, like other kobolds, are weak to poison. Lee started crushing the poisoned apple, thinking, a level 12 boss monster on top of other kobolds. It's nearly an impossible opponent. If it were anyone else, they would have accepted their fate. The monster attacked Lee with its spear. Lee dodged it with insane speed and started attacking the monster. The system popped up. Level 2 basic swordsmanship is activated. In a swift motion, Lee slashed the three monsters with his sword. But it will be different since it's me. Phew. Now that all the side characters are dead, the one that's left is... Let's take a look at how the boss monster of a death mission is, Lee thought, speeding towards the boss monster. He attacked with a powerful slash, but the boss monster blocked it. Lee was amazed. It minimized the impact by pulling back at the time of impact. To think a monster would have such skills as expected of a death mission boss monster, he thought. Suddenly, the boss started running away. "It's just running away," Lee thought, chasing it. "How can you call yourself a boss monster? Looks like it'll be over soon. Was this like a bonus stage that anyone who got here could clear? Well, it's good for me." He used another slash, but suddenly, it didn't work. What's this all of a sudden? Lee was confused. The monster was looking at the moon. Suddenly, its eyes started glowing red, and it landed a slash on Lee. The scene shifted to the lobby. Kim said with a laugh, "Since we can't do anything about someone who's already dead, I, Kim Se-ong, will carry you guys for the rest of the floors." Che was praying. Kim, pissed, angrily told Che, "Ha! Don't you know what death is? It's obvious he's already dead. Why are you even praying for him? Are you praying that he rests in peace?" Che shouted in anger. "Kim Se-ong! Even when the world is in this state, you should at least have some conscience." Kim, with arrogance, retorted, "Ooh, what? As if that guy would make it back alive." Che shouted, "What would you do if Lee were to come back safe? Are you really going to act like this till the end?" Kim shouted, "Did I say something wrong?" Suddenly, Che was shocked. "Huh? Isn't that the portal?" Everyone was stunned. Lee was coming out of the portal. Kim Jun-seong was shocked, but Seo Junho was very happy. They saw Lee's wounds start to heal automatically. The system notified, "The player that participated in the death mission has returned alive." "I'm back," Lee said. A flashback showed the guide saying, "Please be careful, as the abilities of the kobold chieftain will increase when the eyes turn red." The monster was in a rage. Lee thought, "Red eyes?" He staggered back, holding the wound on his chest, thinking, "I have to stop this bleeding. Just one hit? I just need one good hit. But how?" Lee was terrified. The monster was running toward him. Lee dodged it at full speed, thinking, "What the—" It punched a hole through the tree like it saw tofu. Wait, while the sword may not be able to cut a wall, a nail can pierce it. I might have been thinking that a sword was a weapon only for slashing subconsciously. Good, let's try it, using its momentum as it rushes toward me and adding my own weight to it." The monster started to press the ground with its feet, and in a moment, there was a high jump. The monster was going to kill Lee with its blades. Lee thought, focusing it all in one point. It worked! The system showed a new skill added. Stabbing. You have cleared the death mission. Che was running towards Lee. She was about to hug him, saying, "Lee, I knew you would make it big." But suddenly, someone pushed her, and she flipped and fell away. She was confused. Kim started hugging Lee. Lee didn't understand anything. Kim, with a weird face, said, "I had faith that you'd make it back, big brother Lee Hoyoung." Kim Se-ong laughed like a fool and declared, "As if a lowly death mission could stop my big bro Lee Hoyoung, the strongest in the universe." Lee, frustrated, thought, "Geez, I wish I could just beat the shit out of him." People started approaching Lee and asking hesitantly, Lee Hoyoung, did you really clear the death mission? I'm really glad to see that you're okay, but if you cleared the mission, you must have gotten a lot of experience. But your level hasn't changed, has it?" Whispers spread through the crowd. Come to think of it, he's still at level 2, right? What if it's the same as that time with the rabbit mod and it's just nothing? Lee felt a pang of sadness. I thought I had gotten used to it. A flashback played in his mind. But the world wants the weak to stay weak. 2 kids were whispering, "Apparently Lee Hoyoung topped this midterm." Another kid replied, "What? Lee Hoyoung, he probably cheated, didn't he?" Evil laughter echoed as other kids said, "He obviously cheated. How the hell would a pathetic orphan get top marks when he doesn't even go to an academy?" Lee thought, as if they can't allow a worm to wriggle about. The whispers continued. What if he stayed hidden somewhere and bided his time before coming out, like in the tutorial? Makes sense. What can he even do at that level? He must have been hidden in a pit somewhere. Lee thought, so they want to step on it and crush it. I already know it well enough. Prejudiced people don't change their perspectives that easily. But right now, what I need to do is... Suddenly, Chase shouted, "Don't run your mouths so thoughtlessly. Why do you keep doubting him? Didn't he already prove that he survived the death mission?" Lee was amazed by Che. Kim Se-ong stood silent for a moment before shouting, You are right, big sis. Not only did they fail to hold a party to commemorate the glorious return of my big bro, Lee Hoyoung, the strongest in the universe, but they even dared to ruin the mood. You've lost your minds, haven't you? Huh? Lee thought. Kim, you sound the craziest to me. Well, even so, I do feel kind of reassured. Anyhow, I need everyone to survive in the tower. If I want that, I have to show them something convincing. Lee suddenly turned everyone's attention to himself by saying, Guys, I need to show you something. He revealed the indomitable sword, a rare item that featured a 15% boost in attack power. Everyone was shocked, murmuring, Whoa, rare rank. Attack power plus 15%? Isn't that basically a cheat key? No info even pops up for this old long sword. I'm surprised you kept the poison apple with you. Just as Che Yiseol said, you are truly extraordinary, Kim Junseong remarked. Lee replied, I was just lucky. Junseong responded, Such a great item as a reward is way more valuable than some experience points for our survival. Lee's expression hardened. Our survival, you say? It seems like you've all forgotten the fact that you all nearly drove me to death. Everyone felt ashamed. Che wanted to say something but couldn't. Seo Junho, crying, said, You are right. I justified it by thinking that it couldn't be helped. But in the end, it was pure selfishness, thinking that it was fine as long as it wasn't me. Even though we knew that voting for you, when you were the one with the lowest level, was the same as silently targeting you, we threw you into a deadly situation so we could live ourselves. I'm really sorry. Seo Junho bowed his head towards Lee. I'm truly glad that you came back alive. But suddenly, a girl spoke with arrogance. Huh? Why do you have to go that far? Someone had to go anyway. You even came back with a rare item, so it's all good, isn't it? Seo Junho shouted. How could you? Hey, Seo Yeonjin! Don't you feel the slightest bit of guilt? Seo Yeonjin replied. That's not for you to be saying when you voted for him before everyone else. Seo Junho stammered. That's... Suddenly, Lee said, The reason I brought that up wasn't to reprimand you, but to stop this from happening again. You must have already caught on during the death mission voting. But the tower is trying to divide us. It's provoking distrust among us, causing conflicts, and probably enjoying sending us on a path to ruin. So I believe that my return from the death mission is an opportunity. I've already proved that our actions can defy the tower's intentions. Kim Junseong asked. Then do you have a plan for the future? Lee replied. I will search for ways for the most people to survive, and will keep climbing the tower. We will climb higher and higher, and when we reach the end someday, we will be able to get our lives back, won't we? Everyone started thinking, Our lives. He's right. Someday we can... Che shouted. To do that, everyone here will have to join hands. Lee replied. Yeah, we should. Tears came to Seo Junho's eyes. He thought, what a generous man. We shouldn't have judged him by something trivial like his level. Suddenly, Kum appeared and said, How unfortunate. For this mission, it's a survival game. Everyone started whispering. Kum. Huh? Didn't he leave? Why is he here again? Is he giving us stat points this time too? Lee asked in fear. By survival mission, don't tell me you mean... Kum exclaimed. You're a quick one after all. That's right. The mission for level 2 will be among the 16 players in this place. A battle royale. But since it's a lower level, it's just a mild taste for you all. So cheer up, yeah? Okay, then. I will explain the rules. In the level 2 mission, there will be 16 players and 16 doppelgangers. So in total, there will be 32 people. The conditions to clear are to kill all the doppelgangers. The doppelgangers will not only have the same stats, but the same memories as well, so it won't be easy. And the most important is rule number 3. There's no reward for a player who kills a doppelganger, but if a player kills another player, he can obtain stat points and gold. In other words, this mission could be an opportunity for you. Everyone kept talking. Opportunity! As if! You're basically telling us to kill each other, Kum said. And lastly, for every 30 minutes that there is no kill, everyone will be immediately summoned to the lobby and will face a huge disaster. Everyone started panicking. Whoa, what is he trying to do? Something's coming out. A huge hand appeared. Lee thought in fear and anger. He expects us to fight that? A deafening smash scattered the ground, sending debris flying. Smoke filled the air, obscuring vision and choking the breath. Everyone lay on the ground, paralyzed by fear. Lee thought, terror gripping his heart. This is literally a disaster! Someone screamed. Is this real? We barely passed the first floor. How are we supposed to fight that? A girl sobbed. Help me! I don't want to die! Lee's mind raced. This is bad. Everyone's fallen into a panic. The monster hurled a punch at a boy, but Lee darted in, saving him just in time. The second floor's mission hasn't even started yet. What on earth is it doing? He muttered, eyes darting to Kum Kum, who feigned fear. Lee recalled Kum Kum's earlier words, pondering. Could it be putting on a show to get us to be serious about the mission? Then that means that this is just a taste of how things will be. It's not trying to actually harm us. Lee saw the monster's attack, causing some people to fall. Kim Jun-seong and the Muscle Kim charged at the monster, but it blocked their attacks effortlessly. Kim Jun-seong exclaimed, Nothing's happening no matter how many times I fire arrows at it! Lee's heart sank. Dang it, this isn't just for show. Is it really trying to kill us? Che, exhausted, reminded him, I don't have any more mana. Lee thought, no one's died so far, but that won't be the case for long. The monster's punch headed straight for Seo Junho. It's coming again, he shouted in panic. Everyone stand back, Lee commanded, thinking, there's no time to be concerned about what others think. Seo Junho shouted, Lee Hoyoung, you have to get away. Lee steeled himself. If I can't stop it, then everyone will die. With the synergy between the indomitable sword and the stab, maybe it might have some effect. Lee executed a perfect strike with level 8 basic swordsmanship, and the monster vanished. Everyone's faces were a mix of shock and disbelief. Lee thought, huh? He could hardly believe his own actions. Suddenly, the air was filled with cheers. Everyone was celebrating Lee's victory, but he felt detached from the moment. A window popped up. You will be in an exhausted state for 3 minutes because you have used strength beyond your limits. Slowly, his vision blurred, and he started to fall. Confusion spread among the group. As he regained consciousness, another window popped up. Your exhausted state has been lifted. Everyone crowded around, asking if he was okay. Seo Junho, tears streaming down his face, cried, I can't believe you behaved so humbly despite being so strong. Even the fainting ceremony you performed at the last moment was perfect. Lee, still disoriented, asked, What on earth happened? What happened to the huge disaster? Seo Junho hesitated. Oh, that... Kum Kum interjected. It was sent back. This time around was just meant for you guys to get a taste of things. Lee's anger flared. It really was that. Kum Kum continued. But I guess it wasn't very exciting, huh? Everyone's being too friendly with each other despite having almost just died. The fact that a kill must happen every 30 minutes means that the people standing next to you might be the ones who kill you. Fear gripped everyone. Kum Kum said, All right, I've passed on the message. I will now take my leave. Saya! The group was left in stunned silence. Lee, gnashing his teeth in frustration, thought, to think it'd be so obvious about its intentions. Is there nothing we can do about this? Everyone started thinking in fear. If we can't find the doppelgangers, then we'll need to kill each other, right? We need to find a way to deal with this quickly. Lee exclaimed. How about putting a mark on each of us? People started murmuring. It's said that the doppelgangers share our memories. What do we do then? Lee grabbed everyone's attention. Everyone, I have something in mind. Che asked, Something in mind? Lee continued, during this mission. Only I will do." Everyone was shocked. Lee explained, "All of you just do nothing and gather at the highest place on the second floor. If there's anyone who does that other than me, then consider that person a doppelganger and work together to defeat it." An Sechong asked skeptically, "That's your plan?" The annoying girl sneered. "Ha, I get that you're pretty good despite being low-leveled. But why should we just obediently follow your plan?" Lee explained, "Do you remember what Kum Kum said just now? There's no reward for a player who kills a doppelganger, but if a player kills a player, he can obtain stat points and gold. It means that the people standing next to you might be the ones who kill you. While the instructions are asking us to fight the doppelgangers, what the tower really wants is for us to kill each other. I don't want to be played by the tower anymore, so I think this is the best solution," the annoying girl retorted. "How is that the best?" Junseong intervened. "I agree. We could definitely reduce as much damage done to us as possible, but Lee Hoyoung, to ask us to leave that role to you, does that mean you have a way of differentiating who's a doppelganger?" Lee smiled. "Of course I do." The scene shifted, and a window popped up. "The second floor's mission is starting. Please kill at least one person within 30 minutes. The current number of members, 16 players and 16 doppelgangers." Kim Se-young was walking, grumbling. "I can't believe he asked us to just gather at the top without doing anything. Although Lee was the one who suggested it, isn't this too reckless? Damn it, I really hate climbing up mountains." Suddenly, he saw someone approaching. He prepared to attack, but relaxed when he saw it was Lee. "Oh, what? It's just you, big bro. I thought you were a doppelganger." Before he could finish his sentence, Lee slashed him in 2 pieces. Lee stood before his system window, a rare smile on his face. The guide system displayed a message. "The first among the players to reach a certain stat level in sensitivity will receive the skill Impeccable Senses as a reward for being the first to attain that achievement. This skill will assist in identifying doppelgangers." Lee thought, relieved. "It's done. I actually got a little scared after saying that I'm confident of differentiating who's a doppelganger. Just then, this appeared at the perfect timing. But just how many stats do I need to put into it?" Suddenly, a pop-up window appeared. "You're the first to achieve a stat level of 50 in sensitivity. You've obtained Impeccable Senses." Lee's smile widened. Another window popped up. 4 of your 5 senses will be extremely developed. You will be able to obtain detailed information about a person as long as they are within a certain radius of you. Lee thought, "I finally got the skill after spending around half of the gold I have. It feels like my whole world has had an improved filter of senses applied onto it. This is great with this." Suddenly he heard someone mumbling. Recognizing the voice, he thought, "This voice?" He could see Kim Se-young from far away, mumbling to himself. To think I can hear him talking so clearly despite being 500 meters away from him. Looks like Se-young has a lot to complain about, huh? Lee thought. A foul stench hit him suddenly. Why is there suddenly such a bad stench? He wondered, turning to see Kim, who now looked like a demon. That bastard is a doppelganger! The scene shifted to the present. A window popped up. A doppelganger has died. The current number of members is 16 people and 15 doppelgangers. Lee stood over the dead doppelganger thinking, it acted like the real thing up until the moment it died. Now I feel bad for killing it. Anyways, now that I've confirmed my ability to differentiate doppelgangers, I hope the rest are following my instructions. Thanks to Junseong agreeing, it seemed like everyone had agreed to follow the plan, but there's no telling what could happen in real time. I hope nothing happens until they reach a high place on this map. Suddenly, another window popped up. A player has died! Lee was shocked. What? A player has already? Did the doppelgangers start to kill people, or did a player do that? Seong didn't create trouble, did he? Who on earth did that? Lee's anger flared. There's no way for me to figure out what happened right now. He moved swiftly, thinking, I need to find the killer as quickly as possible. As he climbed a tree, he thought, damn it! While I killed another doppelganger, another player was also killed. Where the hell is the killer? Suddenly, he sensed something. He saw two figures, one on the ground and one standing with a sword beside him, looking at Lee with a demonic grin. Found him, Lee thought. He sped forward and attacked, recognizing the doppelganger's face as Go Yong Woo. He slashed him instantly. A window popped up. A doppelganger has died. Phew. I did think that my doppelganger had a chance of being the killer, but it was different from what I had expected. In any case, I'm glad I killed it before it did more damage. May your soul rest in peace, Lee Byung-chul, Lee thought. Suddenly, Lee noticed something strange. Wait a minute. Something strange here, isn't it? Go Yongwoo's weapon is a dull longsword. But this isn't a sword-inflicted wound. This kind of wound is... He saw someone approaching. It was Kim Junseong. Lee thought, it's caused by an arrow. Hiding behind a tree, he thought, damn it, there's another culprit. The man shouted, who's over there? Lee thought, that's a player. Was that arrow shot by his own doppelganger? Junseong, are you all right? Lee called out. Junseong, cautious, replied, Lee Hoyoung, please stop right there. Although I don't want to be suspicious of you, I have no way of telling who's a doppelganger. Please maintain a safe distance between us. Lee explained, the one I just killed is a doppelganger. Shouldn't this be enough to tell you who I am? Junseong sighed. You really are Lee Hoyoung. Be careful of my doppelganger. Junseong! Lee shouted, seeing Junseong's sudden fall. Carrying Junseong, Lee heard him say, sorry. If I hadn't let him escape, other people wouldn't have died. I've caused everyone trouble. When I think about another person who looks like me going around harming people, it is so horrifying. Lee reassured him, it's not your fault. We're all victims of the tower. Just focus on escaping this tower alive. Suddenly, Lee noticed Che and Seo Junho approaching. Seo and Che! Junseong exclaimed. Che shouted, you are both safe. I was worried because I heard that players had died. Seo Junho added, I was worried too. I can't believe 2 players have already died. Che asked, Junseong, are you hurt? I will heal you. Lee warned, please get back. They are doppelgangers. Are you serious? Junseong asked, shocked. The doppelgangers revealed their true faces, preparing to attack. Seo Junho's doppelganger taunted, Lee Hoyoung, I'm so saddened. Do you still have a grudge about what happened with the death mission? I thought you were a big-hearted person. Junseong shouted, I will take the other doppelganger. Lee thought, wait, why are these doppelgangers appearing in front of me so daringly? Especially if one of them has memories of Che Yiseol. She would know just how strong I am, wouldn't she? What? Seo Junho's doppelganger? What about Junseong's doppelganger? Realizing the danger, he narrowly dodged an arrow. Junseong's voice echoed, damn, what a pity. I thought I'd gotten the checkmate. Lee turned to see Junseong's evil grin. Junseong, with a devilish smile, pointed toward Lee. I thought I had gotten the checkmate, he sneered. We saw a flashback. Junseong had watched from behind a tree when Lee killed that doppelganger, grinning with malicious delight. In the memory we saw, Junseong as a fisherman, deliberately placed an arrow in his shoulder, thinking, bingo. He reveled in his twisted hobby of human fishing. Back in the present, Junseong continued, oops, I spoke in dialect without realizing it. Guess I got a little too excited. I have a question for you. What kind of emotions are you feeling right now? Betrayal? Futility? Or anger? His laughter was maniacal. With a calm smile, Lee responded, I was wondering when you'd show your true colors. Looks like you're crazier than I thought. Junseong, surprised, asked, You're speaking as if you had known I'd backstab you. Lee explained. I can see the status windows of others. Your stats increased a lot, huh? You murderous asshole. Junseong was momentarily confused. Huh, you truly get more interesting as time goes by. Did you receive the favor of the tower? Wow, I'm so jealous of that. Enough with the small talk. Why are you doing this? Did you want gold and stats that badly? To the point that you'd kill others? Lee asked. Junseong's smile turned sinister. Do I need a reason? In this beautiful world, if I kill people, not only do I not get penalized, I get rewarded instead. How could I possibly not kill anyone? Lee thought. I had wondered if he had a situation that made him do this. But I was wrong. He had simply put on a mask and held himself back for a moment like this. This guy is just a murderous psychopath. As Lee moved forward to fight, Seo Junho's doppelganger released a slash. Lee dodged it swiftly, then saw an arrow coming his way. He slashed it in two, thinking, the same trick. Suddenly, Lee noticed a second arrow. He dodged it midair, thinking, he hasn't shown all of his cards yet. The best close combatant and healer in this area, and a ranged attacker that's stronger than them. This is a combination that has no openings. I don't know how you convinced the doppelgangers, but it seems you prepared quite a bit. Junseong explained. If I want to get a big catch, I have to do this much, don't you? I thought you'd go down much easier, but you are pretty tough. Well, that's better though, because I can take my time to watch you struggle painfully until you die. Lee started sweating as Junseong loaded his bow with arrows. Guys, what are you doing? Time to raise our nets, Junseong commanded. Lee stood still, and a window popped up. Impeccable senses has been activated. Lee thought, this is definitely an exceptionally well-balanced party. However, in the face of overwhelming strength, a good team composition means nothing. Multiple windows appeared. A doppelganger has died. The current number of members is 14 players and 11 doppelgangers. Junseong was shocked, his confidence crumbling. He started sweating and fell to his knees, terrified. Lee watched, confused. Junseong began to plead, Please spare my life, Lee Hoyoung. I got obsessed with the rewards and went crazy for a moment there. I got impatient after seeing how good you were and crossed a line I never should have. Please, just this once. Just this once. Suddenly, Junseong lunged at Lee, shouting, Go to hell for me! But in one swift motion, Lee slashed him down. As he was dying, Junseong thought, Damn, he wasn't just a slightly bigger catch, huh? A pop-up window appeared. A player has died. Current number of members is 13 players and 11 doppelgangers. Lee stood silently, blood dripping from his sword. He thought, I had to kill a living human. Suddenly, a red window popped up. The player who took on the challenge of becoming the Star Killer has died. You've obtained the chance to become the Star Killer in place of the one that died. Lee was confused. Whoa, what? Another window appeared. If you take up the challenge to become the Star Killer, you'll receive a buff to your stats and also the support of the doppelgangers. If you become the Star Killer, in the end, you'll receive a tremendous benefit. Lee saw the red aura slowly take the form of a woman. She held out her hand and a red window popped up. Would you like to take up the challenge? Lee couldn't understand anything. He thought, it was because of this? The reason why Junseong was able to command the doppelgangers. That aside, he saw a window showing the benefits of becoming the Star Killer. What's with these ridiculously good benefits? While I didn't like the idea of killing doppelgangers, I was able to cut through them because I knew they weren't humans. But I'd run into more situations where I have to fight humans. And one of them could be another challenger trying to become the Star Killer. No, it might even be someone who's the actual future Star Killer. Lee was about to accept. Then he thought, even so, I refuse. I won't become a crazy psychopath like him. The scene shifted to the top of the mountain. Lee's friends welcomed him. Kim, with a weird, cute face, asked, Why are you so late? Seeing him like this, Lee thought, Now I feel like I really should have become a crazy psychopath. He said, "You guys did great gathering here. I know it would have been hard to follow my proposal. Thank you for following it. Phew, I barely held myself back." Someone shouted, "What do we do now? Are you really able to differentiate who's the doppelganger?" Lee exclaimed, "Yes, that's right. Firstly, thanks for following my instructions." Suddenly they heard the sound of someone's feet. Lee thought, "It's appeared! My doppelganger!" Everyone started to panic. There are two Lee Hoyoungs. Which side do we trust? Did you foresee this situation as well? We saw two Lee Hoyoungs. Lee thought, "This has gotten complicated. This is why I wanted to kill my doppelganger before I got here. But my plan was foiled because of an unexpected variable known as Junseong. This is now a chess match between me and my doppelganger." Someone shouted, "Lee, I don't know who's the real one, but please explain the current situation. Did you kill the doppelgangers as you mentioned before? Who are the dead doppelgangers?" Lee thought, "There are a total of 8 people that have either a dead doppelganger or a dead player. If I reveal the 5 doppelgangers that I killed, we'd naturally be able to know their identities. That means if I can prove this fact, I'd be able to prove that I'm a player. But both Lees started naming the same doppelgangers. Everyone was shocked. Lee thought, "This is what it comes down to, huh?" Suddenly, the doppelgangers started talking. "Everyone, think carefully. Kim Se-young and Chae Yi-seol were in my party on the first floor. We've built a good amount of trust between us. But among all our doppelgangers, I found their doppelgangers? What are the odds of that happening?" Lee thought, "He made the first move." People started saying, "Is that a trick for him to put himself into an advantageous situation?" "Ha, isn't that way too obvious?" Chae said. "But there's no guarantee that's not possible, right?" The doppelganger continued. "And if what the fake says is correct, Yun Se-young over here would be the doppelganger. That means he killed the real Jun Se-young by himself. What kind of person is Jun Se-young? The highest level among us. The real leader who would give us courage whenever times were tough for us. Not only can I not imagine someone like him dying, even if this is the real Hoyoung, can you trust a murderer who killed someone?" Everyone started panicking. The doppelganger thought, "I don't know how the real Jun Se-young died, but the momentum's on my side. The only thing left to do is..." The doppelganger said, "Looks like you confessed while getting too impatient to bring people over to your side." He thought, "To set things in stone!" He shouted, "Doppelganger!" Lee was afraid. Everyone started taking out their weapons, shouting, "There's nothing more to say! Let's beat up that fake and kill the rest of the doppelgangers!" Suddenly, Kim shouted, "Don't be ridiculous, that would mean I'm a fake!" Chae shouted, "We shouldn't jump to conclusions after only hearing one side of the story." Seo Junho said, "She's right. We need to proceed with caution." Everyone started shouting, "There's no time for that. A few minutes from now, the huge disaster will appear." Lee listened silently. He thought, "This is surprising. Praising the doppelganger would be praising myself. It made the best move in the current situation." Lee started walking. Suddenly he said, "He's right. I killed Jun Se-young." The doppelganger said, "What? Have you given up? That's disappointing, doppelganger." Lee thought, "But there's something that even my doppelganger doesn't know, because..." He shouted, "And that's Jun Se-young is a traitor." Lee slashed Jun Se-young's doppelganger. "The fact that Jun Se-young killed players?" Jun Se-young fell to his knees, terrified. The annoying girl and her doppelganger shouted, "Jun Se-young!" Lee's doppelganger yelled, "What do you think you're doing? Are you just doing whatever you want now that you have nothing to say?" "Wait a minute," Seo Junho interrupted. "Jun Se-young is a traitor. What does that mean? If what I'm thinking is correct, the one who just slashed Jun Se-young is the real Lee Hoyoung. The fact of the matter is that since Lee Hoyoung has gathered everyone in one place, he's already created a situation where the players have the upper hand. Because when a doppelganger kills someone, we can see the player has died. The fact that they are a doppelganger is revealed immediately, so they can't kill anyone recklessly. However, if Lee is able to tell who's a doppelganger, he can prove that he's the real one by just killing a doppelganger. But he's saying that Jun Seong is a traitor. Jun Seong. Did he kill humans? Yes, Lee explained. Jun Seong was a demon that wore the mask of a good person. He hid his true nature and bided his time. The annoying girl exclaimed, "How dare you!" A flashback showed Jun Seong protecting her. Gritting her teeth, she shouted, "How dare he insult Jun Seong! I won't forgive you!" She moved to attack, but suddenly, tears filled her eyes. She turned around and asked, What? Jun Seong?" A window popped up. "A player has died. Current number of members, 12 players and 11 doppelgangers." Everyone was shocked. Lee thought, "Damn it! He still has enough strength left to move." Jun Seong's doppelganger laughed. "Yes, this is it!" With a devilish smile, he shouted, "This is the kind of expression I wanted to see!" Suddenly, another window popped up. "A doppelganger has died." Lee was surprised. The soldier boy exclaimed, "Lee Hoyoung, sorry for doubting you. What do we need to do now?" "Sechong," Lee exclaimed. Everyone started shouting, "What? That really was a doppelganger! This is the real Lee Hoyoung!" The doppelganger's eyes burned red. Everyone shouted, "Please tell us! What do we need to do? We will follow what you say!" Lee remembered the time when everyone was discriminating against him. He thought, "This feels like déjà vu." Suddenly he shouted, "I will tell you my last plan." Lee's doppelganger started to attack him, saying, "Now that things have come down to this," Lee shouted, "it's all or nothing. We will loot all the gold you have and use it to raise our stats." The doppelgangers are no longer a match for us, because everyone has already become stronger than they were yesterday. The scene shifted to the lobby. Lee thought, since the stats of the doppelgangers were the same as our stats when we first entered the second floor, we were able to clear the mission without further casualties since we raised our stats with gold. But if it weren't for that bastard Jun Seong, we would have been able to survive without anyone dying. Sechong. He's probably the most disappointed since he was in the same party as Jun Seong. I am just as disappointed. My goal was to clear the second floor safely, without anyone dying after all. The situation in the other regions is probably worse than ours. They don't have someone like me that has a guide to read, and there will be someone else who took on the path of the Star Killer. The fights from now will probably get more intense. While I'm still weak, I am sure there's a good reason why I have this special ability to read the guide. Yes, not all the things I have experienced so far have been good, but as long as there are people who trust in me, I will do my best to save as many people as possible. Suddenly, An Seichong appeared. Thank you, Lee Hoyoung. I was able to survive because of you. Lee said, it's thanks to everyone following my plan. An Seichong said, seeing how you're still level 2 despite having contributed the most, you must have been given a special ability in return for having your leveling slowed down. Lee remembered. Seichong's cautiousness and decision-making ability were definitely impressive. He will be of great help in the future. Seichong bowed down and said, I'd like to sincerely apologize for doubting and looking down on you. Everyone started saying, Me too. I'm sorry. Lee said, You don't need to apologize. Kim was laughing weirdly and said, Ha 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 ha. You guys are so bad at seeing someone's true potential. You should have been like me, getting on the Hoyoung Express train. Che shouted, Sorry, but I was the very first person to discover how extraordinary he is. Seo Juno started crying and said, I'd like to apologize again with tears this time round. Seichong said, I know this might sound shameless after everything that has happened, but I'd like you to lead us from now on. Lee was shocked, but then gave a warm smile and said, All right then. Suddenly, an announcement began, calculating gold rewards in regards to the amount of contribution. The fat guy exclaimed, Whoa, we're getting gold too. Another girl chimed in. Yeah, me too. Kim, smiling, struck a bodybuilder pose and shouted, I am the man who has been rewarded with 2,000 gold. He started showing off, and Lee, annoyed, thought, looks like everyone managed to get some gold because they followed my plan. I'm glad they all got something. Lee smiled as he saw his own reward, 12,500 gold. Suddenly, he noticed something. A system window appeared saying, because you have obtained more than 10,000 gold, your shop's rank will be increased. Lee examined his upgraded shop and thought, aha, so this is how the system works, huh? If I want to buy items that are rare and above, I need to increase the rank of my shop. What I need to buy now would be... He spent 5,000 gold to purchase a level 3 skill, his basic swordsmanship skill. Feeling the power, Lee remembered. Back then, I unknowingly used a higher level of swordsmanship, but fainted right after. If I can use that kind of swordsmanship for just 5,000 gold, it's really a cheap price to pay. With this, I'm done with my shopping. Suddenly, a pop-up window appeared. Player Lee Hoyoung has shared 1,500 gold with you. Che, confused, asked, Lee, why did you suddenly give me that? Lee replied, you can have it. He remembered, when we fought the kobold and the doppelgangers, it would have been a lot harder for us to win if it weren't for you. In a place that wants us to take the lives of others in order to survive, the reason we can laugh while relying on each other and help others in such a world is all thanks to you. Che was shocked and stopped talking. Suddenly she said, Lee Hoyoung, I will become stronger. Tears filled her eyes as her healing hand leveled up. Lee also sent 200 gold to Kim. Big bro? Kim asked. Lee said, stop doing weird stuff and keep up the good work. He thought, since he's quite competent, he might be pretty useful if I help him become stronger, right? Well, it's always better not to have annoying people on your bad side. Suddenly, Kim shouted, Big bro! He made a face like a cute girl and said, Your wish is my command from now on. Just tell me what you need. The scene shifted to the 3rd floor's mission starting. The mission was a siege war. Someone asked, a siege war? A pop-up window showed up saying, in this place, it will be your first time meeting players from other regions. Clear condition, your group's mission is to attack. Bring down the castle and occupy the altar. Remaining time, 24 hours. Penalty for failing the mission, unknown. They received a return crystal. The system said, you have obtained a time-limited item, return crystal only usable on the 3rd floor. Lee thought, return crystal? The fat boy asked. Does this mean we need to kill people? Of all things, a girl asked. What's this return crystal? Lee, shocked while looking at his guide window, thought, this is... He called Kim Seong, who replied, yes, big bro, while attacking with his sword. You said you'd do anything I ask, right? Kim was very scared. The scene shifted to Kim walking on the mountain route, short of breath. He's being too much. Can't he just use his words? He could have told me that I won't die for real even if I get killed here. Lee's guide window indicated, on this floor, the return crystal will return you to the starting location when you die. Kim said, well, in any case, he saw a giant gate and remembered Lee's words. If you go do reconnaissance for us, you will get 100 gold. Kim said, that's what he said, right? I will just destroy everything while I am here. He started punching the gate. The system popped up. The castle gate's durability has dropped 81%. With each punch, the gate's durability dropped further. With a final punch, he destroyed the gate. Kim said, Bahaha, there's no way a mere castle gate can withstand my power. The gate restored itself. He thought, oh, it can do this, huh? He rolled his eyes and thought, 2 guards on top of the castle wall. And is that the altar? I see around 10 people there. He remembered Lee's words. You mustn't kill anyone there because they will realize what the return crystal is used for. Kim thought, although he asked me not to, they are just trash that's scared of me, a single person. I will just destroy them all. Suddenly, something hit Kim with tremendous force. His nose was swollen, and blood came out of his mouth. Drops of blood hit the ground. He was on his knees, thinking, what just happened? His condition was very bad. Could that be a gun? The scene shifted to Lee shouting, "A gun?" Kim screamed, "Yeah!" It fired some kind of magic bullet that hurt like hell. Lee thought, that's crazy. A gun shouldn't be a weapon that can be obtained right now. The evidence is that even Sechong, whose class is a soldier, doesn't have a gun as a weapon. Another possibility is... He remembered the Star Killer offer. A Star Killer? This is going to be a tough fight, huh? Suddenly, Che grabbed Lee's hand and started shaking him. She said, "Don't worry, I have got your back." His team started shouting, "I am prepared too! Me too! Same here!" Kim shouted, "Gunner bastard, you are dead meat!" Seeing everything, Lee started smiling. "Great, I will tell you our plan from now on." The scene shifted to the enemy side. Drops of someone's tears lay on the ground. A man was crying. A woman sitting on that man started yawning. Everyone was very terrified. The scene shifts and we see Lee thinking, a huge benefit I got during the second floor's mission is impeccable senses. Using his senses, he spots the gate from afar. There are 2 guards on the top of the castle wall, like Kim Se-young mentioned. Kim shouts with a laugh, "We meet again, huh? Assholes." Che asks, "But if Kim Se-young goes back out there, wouldn't the enemy figure out what the return crystals do?" Lee explains, "No, they might think about it, but they won't be able to be certain. There's a higher chance that they will think it's something that only Kim Se-young can do." The enemy archers start aiming their arrows. Che is surprised as Lee moves super fast. Just as the arrows are released, Kim is shocked and shouts, What the hell? That's totally different from what happened just now." Lee slices the arrows in midair and says, "Because of that, we have an opportunity." Kim is surprised. Lee steps on Kim's shoulder, takes a long jump, and goes straight over the wall. In the air, the enemies think, "What?" Lee gives them both cuts at once and says, "Just one chance." Seo Junho exclaims, "Aha!" Because the enemies will eventually realize how to use the return crystal due to the failed attack during the first turn. We need to defeat them swiftly this time around. With a laugh, Kim shouts, "Nice big bro!" Everyone shouts, "This is our chance! Charge!" Kim says, "I can destroy the gate with just 5 of my stone fists. Make sure you follow closely behind me. The gate will close if you are too slow." Kim prepares his punch. Just as he's about to punch, he gets shot again. With that magic bullet, the huge gate is destroyed in an instant. Che shouts, "Get a grip, Se-young!" Lee is shocked and thinks, "What on earth?" The knocked archer starts laughing and says, "I don't know why you let me live, but such a half-hearted mindset will cost your lives. That mad woman will take advantage of it." We get introduced to Sun Seo-yeon, and we see her stats window. As Lee expected, she is the Star Killer. Lee thinks, "I thought it was a possibility. She really is a Star Killer, and she's level 13? Did she slaughter everyone on the second floor?" Suddenly, she shoots at Lee, and the bullet hits him directly on his shoulder. Lee is panting and takes some potions. He thinks, "Cool, to think she would shoot at me from that distance. She's more hostile than I thought, and she doesn't hesitate at all. I'm glad I prepared this in advance." We see leather armor on Lee's torso. Lee activates his sage's eyes and thinks, 1 magic bullet consumes 10 mana points, huh? If she used the same rank of the shop as me, she shouldn't be able to purchase mana recovery items yet. Lee jumps in the air, lands on the ground, and thinks, "In that case, she only has 13 more magic bullets. We have to break through here." Everyone rushes. She fires another shot, hitting a member of Lee's team. We see a flashback where a person asks, "How do we get past the bullets to the altar?" An Sechong says, "We will look for cover to use and advance in a zigzag manner." Lee explains. She wouldn't be able to use bullets that could damage Kim Se-young to the verge of death infinitely. Since it was called a magic bullet, it probably consumes mana points. Seo Junho says, "How much mana she has would be the crucial point then." Lee replies, "Yes, 1 bullet. Just take 1 bullet." In the present, we see that person also wearing armor like Lee. He starts smiling and Che heals him. The woman shoots multiple bullets, but they have no effect because Che is healing them from the back. Lee thinks, since we have Che Yiseol. The woman is shocked. She kicks the man she is sitting on. Her team members carry out her orders like blind men. Lee thinks, what happens from now on will decide how things end. If a fight breaks out, there will be teammates that will die because of magic bullets. We need to get to the altar as quickly as possible. A man attacks Lee with his sword. He swiftly cuts him and passes through. Another person attacks him, but Lee swiftly cuts his head off. Lee sees a magic bullet appearing before his eyes, but Seo Junho deflects it with his sword. The sword falls out of his hand. Son Seo Yeon thinks, "They reacted to my shots?" Seo Junho starts shouting, "Go quickly, Hoyoung!" But then he gets shot. Lee is very angry. Che tries to heal everyone, but they start disappearing after getting shot one after another. Lee thinks, cool. In the end, there are more and more people dying. She definitely knows that they will return even after they die. But how? How could she make such a face while killing people? Son Seo Yeon says, "This group is pretty interesting." Lee suddenly becomes extremely angry. Holding his sword tightly, he activates his level 3 basic swordsmanship. He moves ahead, tearing everyone apart, and takes a leap as he approaches the altar. We see a climactic confrontation. Lee's sword on one side and So Yeon's gun bullet on the other. The collision creates a very powerful impact. Kim laughs. "You guys are so lost now." The enemy is confused. Kim continues, using his stone punch ability. "Now that big bro reached the altar, we don't need to hold ourselves back anymore." His punch blows both men into the air. Meanwhile, Lee and Soyeon stand facing each other, weapons drawn. Soyeon asks, "To be this strong at level 2, what are you?" Lee replies with a smile, "Isn't it stranger for you to be at level 13 this early?" Soyeon glares at him. Lee moves 1 foot forward and a notification pops up. "You've occupied the altar 1-3. Please remove the opposing player from the altar." Lee thinks, "I see. We need 3 people to completely occupy the altar. Before that..." Suddenly, she shoots another bullet. Lee dodges swiftly and goes for her neck, but she blocks it with her gun. Lee attacks repeatedly, but she blocks each strike gracefully. So Yeon thinks, "How is he able to react to my shots?" Lee launches a stab attack, but she jumps up quickly and shoots another bullet. Lee dodges it again. She thinks, "Did he predict it?" Lee recalls, "A swordsman like me, one of the strongest players in our area, Seo Junho, was called a genius table tennis player. In a match between pros where a rally is taking place, it's not easy to return every ball just by using one's eyes. The higher the level of the match, the more people would read the postures or where their opponents were looking. The ability to do that and predict where the ball will come from is considered exceptional, and Junho's nickname was the Genius of Prediction. I got a hint thanks to that." Lee moves quickly, avoiding all the bullets. Soyeon is shocked. Lee takes a slash at her, cutting the pillar behind her in 2. She's still standing, her cheek cut and bleeding. She thinks, "This bastard, he's got higher stats than me." Sechong and the others start closing in. Sechong says, "We're done here." Kim says, "Big bro, let's put an end to this quickly before they come back." Soyeon is shocked. She says, "The function of the return crystal is revival?" Lee replies, "Yes, although it's useless for you to know that now." He thinks, "Even if she has a hidden skill that allows her to get 1 strike in, I will be able to withstand that 1 hit." I just need to take the risk of damage and make sure I end this now. Suddenly, Soyeon asks, "Do you think you have won?" She uses all her gold to upgrade her firing skill. Lee thinks, "Shit!" Her eyes glow red and she shoots multiple bullets. Lee gets hit by multiple bullets and his sword breaks. Everyone starts screaming and coming closer, but Lee disappears. The third floor mission has ended. Kim is very angry. Lee asks, "Why are you making that face? We won." Kim says angrily, "I'm the one who carried this time round, but the gold reward is so small." Lee thinks, "While I didn't expect the consecutive shots at the end, I was able to use my sword to stab Sun Seo-yeon at the same time." We see her disappearing and speaking. "I will remember your name, Lee Hoyoung." Lee continues. "After that, the three of them occupy the altar, and we won." She gives me shivers. "I hope we don't meet again." Suddenly, someone shouts, "Look over there!" They see their enemies from the third round. An announcement starts. The defeated group will face the disaster now. The targets of the disaster are players that did not get a single kill. The enemies start screaming in terror. "Help us! Please!" Che says, "We need to help them." But she gets an electric shock. They see a huge monster throw a powerful punch, killing people instantly. Everyone is shocked. Another announcement begins. Only one player in the C-1427 area has survived. The group has been reorganized. Lee thinks, the group has been reorganized. Wait, the only person that managed to kill in the enemy group. They see someone approaching. Lee is sweating. It's Soyeon. She says, "How filthy." Lee thinks, "Damn it, no wonder I felt uneasy just now." The scene shifts to an abandoned city. A girl asks, "Is the fourth floor an abandoned city?" A window pops up saying, "6 hours from now, a disaster will descend upon this cursed city. Kill all monsters that appear throughout the city and secure the escape portal. The escape portal will appear randomly as you hunt the monsters. Only 20 portals will appear. You cannot allow others to use your portal. Time left, 6 hours." Everyone gets excited. Finally, a monster hunting mission. After going through the second and third floors, I'm actually happy to fight some monsters. If there are 20 portals, then there's no need to compete with each other. We only have 13 people after all. Kim shouts, "Awesome! I will kill all those monsters! Let's go level up like crazy!" Jae explains, "But since it says we can't allow others to use our portal, wouldn't there be a limit to the monsters that appear?" Seo Jun-ho says, "That's right. If one person opens multiple portals, then there will be people who can't escape. The fact that there are extra portals could be a trap set up by the tower." Sechang says, "No matter how many monsters we kill, it will make sense to go into the portal once it opens." Seo Junho shouts, "All right, let's promise each other. The moment we have a portal, we will stop hunting and escape immediately." One girl says, "Sounds good." Che asks, "Seong, why are you making that face?" Kim gets nervous and says, "What about my face? This is just how I look." Lee thinks, "After coming this far together, it seems that everyone understands what needs to be done for a mission. I feel like we have finally become a team. Let's give it our best this time too. Let's get it. The problem would be..." Soyeon says, "Why should I do that though? Don't think about giving me orders. I will kill you." Everyone gets angry, saying, "Should we just gang up on her?" The scene shifts to 12 hours ago. Kim shouts, "This is no place for you to act all big! If you didn't have a gun, useless trash like you would be." She punches Kim hard in the face, knocking him to the ground with one attack. Everyone is shocked. Soyeon says, "You think you really have multiple lives, huh? Trash." Lee says, "You are in our territory, enough messing around." Lee thinks, "I went through all that to kill a potential star killer, but I never expected a real star killer to appear. She's good at fighting even without her gun, huh? Both stand face to face. Sun Seo-yeon says, "We meet again, Lee Hoyoung." Lee says, "Do you have something to say to me? I don't think we are in a situation to exchange greetings politely." Suddenly, Lee feels something. He steps back and thinks, "What was that?" A window pops up. The Star Killer has designated you as her main target. Lee thinks, "Main target? What the hell is that?" His guide pops up. Lee is shocked. She turns around and starts walking. The scene shifts to the present. An orc is terrified. Kim shouts, "I am sorry to hit that handsome face of yours. Just quietly become my exp." The orc thinks, "Why would a fellow orc hit me?" Lee exclaims, "What? A portal? I only killed a few monsters." Kim has no intention of going back, but suddenly Lee is there. Kim is shocked to see him. Kim asks, "What are you doing there?" Lee asks, "Why are you so shocked? Did you do something wrong?" Kim says, That's not it. I just thought you'd have opened a portal already." Lee feels annoyed and says, "You opened a portal, right?" Kim thinks, "Shh, what a hateful brat that's quick-witted." Lee gives him a kick and says, "Stop bullshitting, tisk tisk. I knew he'd try to pull something. I've taken care of one problem now." Lee remembers his guide saying, "The traits of a Star Killer will completely unlock when the Day of Blood is here. On the Day of Blood, if you are killed by the Star Killer will obtain a very good reward. Please level up as much as you can in preparation for the Day of Blood." Lee thinks, "I don't know when the Day of Blood will take place, but there's a high chance it will be advantageous for the Star Killer. Numerous people will definitely die." Suddenly, an orc shouts, "Low-level human!" The orc's blade gets sliced, and Lee swiftly chops the orc's head off. Lee thinks, "I need to become as strong as I can before that day." He says, "This didn't open the portal for me." Lee thinks, "Even though I could kill all the monsters on this floor if I had enough time, I can't do that since not everyone has escaped yet. I also need to be careful of Sun Seo-yeon, who's killing monsters somewhere. How should I do this?" Suddenly, he smells something bad. He thinks, "Ooh, what the hell is this rotting stench?" The guide appears, saying, "Although all orcs have a stench, those that leave a portal behind will stink much more than the rest." Lee shouts, "You are the one!" The orc is stunned. Lee runs very fast and cuts it in two. Suddenly, a window pops up. A portal has appeared. Lee smiles and thinks, "Great, a portal!" The scene opens with Sun Seo-yeon standing in place, while Lee, busy styling his hair like a model, laments, "Why am I so unlucky? I still can't believe I haven't found a portal yet." Seo-yeon retorts, "Are you usually this unlucky?" Lee responds with a resigned sigh, "I told you, I have never won anything in my life. This kind of random luck mission is the worst kind of mission for me." He thinks privately, "Although, it's because I am intentionally avoiding orcs that open a portal. Because Sun Seo-yeon needs to kill me on the Day of Blood. She has no choice but to let me kill the orcs instead. If I die in here without securing a portal, it'd be bad for her too. But I have actually secured one." For Lee, this was immensely entertaining. Suddenly, a pop-up window appears. A certain player has opened a portal, remaining escape portals, 5. Lee's thoughts are triumphant. Great. The rest seem to be escaping smoothly. He then dramatically exclaims, "Ah, there are only 5 portals left. Is this why people curse random luck games? Oh my, oh my." Seo-yeon, visibly angered, bursts out, "Shut up! And focus on the hunt!" "All right," Lee replies fearfully and starts running. An orc lunges at him, triggering a memory of Kim. Every time I cut down an orc, I feel both sorry and pleasantly refreshed. These contradictory feelings. It's like my relationship with Sun Seo-yeon. To think I'd see her worried about me so that she can kill me," he muses. Suddenly, Lee asks Seo Yeon, "I am the one who hasn't found a portal. Why are you the one who's anxious?" She nervously replies, "Who said I'm anxious? Why don't you tell me already? How many portals have you opened?" Lee inquires. 5, she admits. He calculates quickly. That's a lot. That's still within the buffer, though. Sun Seo Yeon has 5. I have 1, and if I assume that the remaining 11 people each open 1 portal, there's a total of 3 left. There are 3 portals left now. Maybe the only ones left on the 4th floor are just the 2 of us. Time to split up with her, then. A new window pops up, announcing, "Remaining time, 10 minutes and 36 seconds. Lee, acting again, cries out, "What? There are only 10 minutes left! I will go find a portal on my own. You can go ahead first." "Wait," she says suddenly, making Lee feel a surge of terror. Did she realize what I am trying to do? He wonders. Nervously, he asks, "Do you have more business with me? You know there are less than 10 minutes left now, right?" She stammers, moving towards him. Lee, now scared, takes a defensive position. She grabs his shirt, embarrassed, and confesses, "I forgot the locations of the portals I opened." Lee is stunned, thinking, "What the hell? She's got no sense of direction." The scene shifts to the lobby where Kim shouts, "Hoyoung, you're finally here!" running towards Lee like an excited girlfriend. "Big bro, I knew you did come back!" But before he can finish, Lee punches him in the face, sending him sprawling. "Geez, that scared me. I thought my mission wasn't complete yet." Sun Seo Yeon comments, "Come to think of it, he resembles an orc." Lee sighs. "There's no need for you to say that out loud." Che exclaims, "Seo Yeon, you made it back safely too." She stands still for a moment, then abruptly leaves, saying, "So noisy." Kim, irritated, shouts, "Ugh, that little wench! She should have been trapped on the 4th floor to die!" "Shut up, pig!" she snaps back. "What? These aren't fats, they are muscles!" he retorts, mumbling under his breath. Lee thinks, should I have left her back there? Well, it doesn't make sense that the killer star blessed by the system would die from being lost. Let's just take this as a chance to get her indebted to me. Although I still need to be wary of her, well, I don't think she will do anything until the days of blood. It should be fine for now. Suddenly, a voice says, "I guess everyone's gotten a little used to things now." Everyone is shocked to see Kum Kum appear. "Your cutie pie is here, Tada." But suddenly, his head gets blasted by a magic bullet. Sun Seo Yeon demands, "Why are you here again, rabbit?" Everyone is stunned as Kum Kum's head regenerates. Angrily, he says, "Wow, what an intense greeting, even though we haven't seen each other for a while. Sun Seo Yeon." He then kicks her with tremendous force, sending her crashing into a wall, coughing blood. Lee is shocked, thinking, "It sent her flying so easily?" No, if I think about the stats it has, maybe it went easy on her. Does that mean the killer star is that important in this tower? Kum Kum, now calmer, straightens his head and says, "Calm down a little. It's still too early for me to knock off work. Everyone, it's time to go for the next mission." Kum Kum said, "All right, before you go to the next floor, shall we change the lobby's background?" Lee thought, "This is a library?" Kum Kum continued, "From now on, all of you are to choose 1 book each. This book will either help you survive or get you killed. That depends on your decision, so choose carefully." Kim shouted, Like hell, I'd let a mere book decide my fate." Seo wondered, "Can I become stronger if I find a sword technique manual?" Kum Kum continued, "Oh, you can't reveal the content of the book to anyone else, and all the books here will disappear once the 5th floor mission starts. I hope you all select a book that you won't regret choosing." With that, Kum Kum vanished. Someone exclaimed, "What? That's all it has to say." One girl urged, "Start looking for the book you will need." Everyone began searching for their books. Lee thought. Looks like everyone's looking in categories related to their classes. I guess that's to be expected. It'd just be a waste of time to look for something else in this situation. But, Suddenly, his guide window popped up. Please choose the book, SS Rank Returner's Monopoly of Connections, in the novels section. Lee thought, you want me to waste my time on a novel? Another system window popped up. You have chosen the SSS Rank Returner's Monopoly of Connections. You cannot change your book or reveal its content to anyone else. Lee thought, wow. The title itself already feels pretty useless. In any case, I'm sure this is recommended for a reason. Let's read it first. Lee was disgusted. It's one of those trashy, mass-produced fantasies. Lee noticed Seo chose Thawing Swordsmanship, Kim chose Punch of the Fist King, and Che chose Knowledge of the Eastern Physician. Lee thought, damn it, I feel like I've lost. Maybe I should have chosen a sword technique or martial art manual. Suddenly, Lee noticed a soldier making a tent out of nowhere. Lee thought, huh? What kind of book did he read? Also, why do I keep hearing banging sounds? Suddenly, he noticed Sun Seoyeon. She was very angry and kept mumbling, I will kill you next time, Rabbit. Lee was confused and thought, let's avoid her. Suddenly, a system window popped up. The time given is up, moving you to the 5th floor. Someone said, this place is a classroom? Who are these people? It looks like time has stopped here. One girl said, come to think of it, doesn't it feel like we've gotten younger? Another girl said, oh, yeah, you are right. Lee thought, could this be, did we return to our student days to fit the mission background? Wait, that's what he looked like as a student? That's just Kim Se-young, but with a shaved head, though. Suddenly, Che said, Lee, you don't look that different. Lee thought, Che, she looks good even when she's younger. But, Lee asked, are you Sun Seoyeon? Seoyeon, angry, asked, what are you looking at? Lee thought, she's not any different too. I guess she had bad eyesight in the past. Suddenly, an announcement started. Are you treasuring your youth that you've returned to? Oh, youth is such a beautiful thing. All right, the 5th floor mission is role-playing. In this place, it's another dimension where humans and monsters exist. Starting from now, all of you are cadets of an academy that raises monster hunters. Kum said, for the next 4 days, quests will appear from time to time. If you fail the quest, you will be headed for the death mission, so make sure you give it your best shot. Everyone started panicking. Quests. If we fail even one, we will be headed for the death mission, Lee thought. Although I survived the death mission, it will be hard for a normal player to survive it. I knew I should have chosen a sword technique manual instead of a useless novel. Kum announced, all right then, time to give you the memories that are needed for the role play. Suddenly, white light started entering everyone's minds. Lee was in pain. He thought, my head? A window popped up. Given memories are in place. Lee, panting, thought, this is really fascinating, isn't it? It feels like I have 2 different memories existing in my head. The new memories that I have, it's the content that I read in the SS Rank Returner's Monopoly of Connections. Kum announced, after the class ends, the quest will start. Enjoy the present as much as you can. Suddenly, the paused students started moving again. The teacher said, so the most effective way of amplifying your mana instantaneously would be... Seo whispered, Lee, the people who were stopped in time are moving now. Lee thought, if we're in a novel, then me and the rest are just extras. And this guy, he's the novel's protagonist, Oh Yunam. He's also a returner who knows the future. Thanks to the information he had, he was able to monopolize numerous connections with people and places and become the strongest. Suddenly, the teacher pointed towards the board and asked, "Anyone want to try answering? If you answer correctly, I will give you store points." Lee thought, that's at a standard that normal students would never be able to answer. Originally, this was supposed to be answered by Oh Yonam. They saw Oh Yunam start raising his hand with confidence. But suddenly Lee answered, "It's a material known as Exian. Currently, Professor Brown's team from Columbia University is doing research on it." The teacher was very happy and exclaimed, "To think there'd be a genius in this class." A system window popped up. "You have obtained store points." Lee thought, I finally get why the guide recommended this novel to me now. Sword technique manual, martial arts manual. There's no need for things like that, because all those connections you are going after, I will get them all first. The scene shifts to the outside of the academy. Kim asks Lee, "Big bro, that XI, whatever from just now, how do you know about it?" Lee explains, "It was in the memories that were given to me." Kim exclaims, "Wow, maybe only you got a good character." Lee retorts, "Go talk to the tower yourself if you're jealous." Che interrupts, "When do you think the quest will start?" Lee thinks, based on what I saw in the novel, it should be right about now. Suddenly, a window appears for everyone. A quest has appeared. The system announces, "Please clear the dungeon that's appeared on the side of the B37 building of the Academy. Time limit, 60 minutes. If you fail, death mission." Lee thinks, the item that drops from the boss monster of this dungeon is an extremely important one that will play a huge role in the future. Originally, Oyunam was supposed to get this, but there's no way I will stand by and let him take it. Lee shouts, "Let's hurry up." A system window appears. "You have entered the dungeon, Orc Den." Oyunam is shocked. "How did you guys get here?" Suddenly, Lee accelerates and, in a blink, kills an orc. Lee says, "Did you think you were the only one capable of finding this place?" Oyunam is shocked. He thinks, "It's strange. I don't know how they found this place. But were the cadets in my class this strong? Especially those two. There's no way I'd forget people that strong. At this rate, they might steal what's mine from under my nose." Yunam throws his spear with unbelievable force. Both Lee and Sun Seo-yeon are shocked. The spear destroys multiple monsters in a single strike and then returns to Yunam. Kim says, "What the hell is that?" Che exclaims, "That's super powerful." Lee thinks, "That's a protagonist for you. Seeing him in real life, he looks way more overpowered now, doesn't he? He won't just hand over the dungeon reward easily, huh? All right then, let's see who wins here. With this momentum, we'll be able to clear the quest without any issues. But if we want to get the dungeon reward, we need to kill the most orcs to get the right to challenge the boss monster. The current Yunam is definitely stronger than me. However, I'm an expert when it comes to finding monsters." Sun Seo-yeon, angry, thinks, "I lost to his petty tricks before, but not this time around." We see Lee swiftly charging towards the monsters. With consecutive slashes, he destroys them. He sees another orc standing in shock and defeats it with a stab. The scene shifts to Sun Seo-yeon, who also destroys monsters with her gun. Suddenly, an orc catches her off guard, but she jumps midair and shoots a magic bullet. We see Yunam destroying monsters with ease. Everyone starts saying, "The three of them are incredible." Che asks, "Don't you feel like Lee is a bit more desperate than usual?" CO responds, "Ah!" He's showing us that noble heart of his that doesn't want to see us being sent on the death mission. The boys become emotional. He's going so far for us, the ones who voted him into the death mission so we could survive. CO says, "Lee, I fully embrace your heart for us." Everyone is pumped up. They shout, "Let's work even harder, for the sake of our light, Lee Hoyoung." The chant grows louder. "Light, Hoyoung, light, Hoyoung." Lee is embarrassed. A window pops up. The orcs have been exterminated. A giant door appears. The system says, "The boss room has appeared. The person who has obtained the right to challenge the boss monster is Hoyoung." Lee is shocked. He thinks, "Damn it. I did my best, but it still wasn't enough, huh? What do I do? Do I have to just give up like this? At this rate?" Suddenly, Lee says, "Hey, Hoyoung, give me the right to challenge the boss monster." Hoyoung becomes angry. "What? What are you suddenly talking about?" Lee responds, "Don't you want to know the way to end this chain of regressions?" Lee smiles and thinks, "I won't give up that easily." So guys, this story ends here because these are the only chapters available now. But I promise I will explain it only when new chapters come, so please subscribe. Okay, I'll leave, then we'll meet again.